I just got back from the service, y'all. Sarah Oliver just had a funeral on Instagram, girl. Sarah Oliver just buried a hoe on Instagram, and I'm here for it, bitch. Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy Skinnygawd. That's Skinny_GAWD. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Skinnygawd. That's Skinny_GAWD.
Got him screaming Skinnygawd like a big fiend. Little hoe.
And as usual, before we get started, y'all do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel down there, and hit the notification bell up there so you can be notified each and every time I put up a new video. As usual, y'all know I'm gonna start every single video I got off with, hey, how you doing, bitch?
How you doing, bitch?
How you doing? How you doing? Hey guys, I miss y'all. Alright, Skinny Gang, you already know what it is. I want to thank y'all so much for subscribing to my channel. We are on a road to 1K, so I appreciate y'all because we going up. If you like this video, share me out, get my content out more. I appreciate that. If you are a new viewer, please subscribe to this channel. I do reactions to everything on Zeus Network. I also do reactions to fights and anything else that y'all want. You put it in the comments and I react to it. That's how this goes. I mean, I get to you as quickly as you would like, but if you put it there, I'm gonna react to it. And I will always try to remember to say your name if I can, but you know, my memory be like, so if it's you, it's you. You know, it's you. Leave in the comments and be like, hey, that is you. That, you know what I'm saying, told me to do the reaction. So I appreciate it. I read every single comment. Just be patient with me. I will get back to you. I will respond. Leave your opinions under this video. I love the community that we starting. It's getting real. It's going down. And it's especially going down today. Because Sarah Oliver just had a whole funeral for Natalie on Instagram. And girl, I died, woke up, died, attended, and died again. This bitch is giving read Natalie, roast her down to the ground. This girl had this girl's stepmother on Instagram. Sarah cried. I don't know how Sarah put up Natalie Nunn's porno. She put up a video of Natalie Nunn playing with it on that same chair she be on in her vanity room, or in her vanity room that she be on live. She was playing with her coochie, bro. After she called her an escort, she was playing with her coochie. It's a whole picture of Natalie Nunn vagina that was released on Twitter, and Sarah did it. And my cousin sent it to me. Because for y'all, I can't post it up here. I'm so sorry. I know I cannot post porn up here. But you could probably Google it at this point. Sarah Oliver releases Natalie Nunn's nudes, or type in Sarah Oliver releases Natalie Nunn's pom-pom. Natalie was looking like an old grandmother in a shoe playing with her coochie in that chair. She looked crazy in her chin. She was masturbating with this. It was chinsturating. Yo, it was disgusting. She looked like she looked crazy. And she said she was selling her pom-pom to Nigerians and people in Dubai. That's what she said. She said her Dubai whole trips, the Nigerians be taking her to Dubai, and she be selling that pom pom in Dubai with her fake lash events. I was like, oh, Sarah is not playing. She is like, now mind you, Leave it in the comments how y'all feel, because a lot of people feel like, you know, a funeral is too far, like wishing like death upon somebody or saying death upon somebody is too far. I feel like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep it, I don't wanna be a mean bitch, but I feel like Natalie Nunn is Satan's chin. And sometimes you gotta play chin to chin. Sometimes you gotta just chin, you know what I'm saying? Take it on the chin. She gotta take it on the chin, okay, girl? Like, you've done worse. You've done worse. So what? Funeral, so what? She calls your stepmother, though. All I want to know is who was you sending those videos to? Because you don't need to send them to Jacob. Why was you sending them to Sarah? Or did Sarah find them from some dudes you sent them to? Because Jacob ain't sent them. Would Jacob send them? Who was you sending them to? Why would anybody have those besides your husband? Because you had a husband. You was in your house when you did that, playing with your pum-pum. You was playing with your pum-pum. Was that her daughter's room? Because you know, Natalie be showing her daughter's room a lot. That wasn't her daughter's room. No, because that would be real foul. That would be real foul. But bitch, y'all bitches be showing y'all houses on live. So y'all be showing your houses on live. So bitch, I can analyze where that was at. Sarah, on the other hand, be doing whole DIY projects. Okay? And the stepmother said that in the video. So I'm gonna let y'all watch this and I'm gonna come back with some commentary. Just watch this. I'm just gonna be the whole Twitter. Y'all can see the whole Twitter interaction like Sarah's story, because I recorded her story. Bam. And y'all about to see this, the funeral, the wake, and the whatever else, okay? Because she buried this hoe. And this, that has that, but just listen. I'll be back.
Hi, Mary. I want to say thank you for reaching out to me. I want to know if I have consent to record this interview.
You do have consent to record this interview.
Okay, great. So can you tell me your full name and how are you related, or how do you know Natalie?
My full name is Mary Nunn. I know Natalie via her father. I was married to him for 28 years, and I was her stepmother during that duration. So I've known Natalie since she was 6, and her brother were 8. That's when they came into my life.
Yeah, very young. Okay, so Natalie recently mentioned that my dad had a previous drug addiction. So can you tell me a little bit about Natalie's father?
Well, when I met Earl in the latter part of 91, he was actually in a rehab or some type of clean and sober type home. Unbeknownst to me, in the beginning stages of our dating, he had hid that from me. And he kept telling me over various dates, you know, he had a secret to tell me. And I was like, I was concerned, because that's when, like, you know, AIDS was really prevalent, right? It had just really came out in society. Like, it was, you know, people were getting it. And I was like, what in the world is he going to tell me? It was scaring me because it was so serious. And he finally told me that he had this issue with drugs, right? And but that he had been in this clean and sober environment, and he was okay. He had handled it or whatever. And so we started dating, and he would bring the children.
Is Natalie from the Bay? Because she always claims that that's where she's from.
Natalie is actually from a city called San Mateo / Foster City, which is on the peninsula of South Bay Area. It wouldn't be considered, you know, well, I mean, I guess all of it's Bay Area, but that's more of a suburb, an upper middle class suburb. Traditionally, it's all white. Natalie went to a parochial school, private school, and all of her classmates and friends were white. I threw her a summer party when she was about 12 years old, and she had probably, you know, 16 to 20 kids that showed up, and all of them were white, with a few that might have been Asian. She pretty much had a pretty comfortable life. From my hindsight, you know, she didn't really want for anything. what have you. I mean,
That's crazy because she almost like claims to have all this street credit, saying like she's from the Bay and saying I run LA and saying all these things, and people don't know this about her whatsoever.
No, in a lot of ways, I found it hard to relate to her because it was just very different.
So she grew up with a bunch of rich kids and had all white friends, is essentially what you're saying.
Very well-to-do kids. She went to Mountain View parochial school called St. Francis. The mass of the school is white and funded by rich white parents. I worked at American Airlines for a multitude of years, and I gave both children, Natalie and Ronald, my passcodes to my flying privileges, which meant they could go online and literally book themselves anywhere in the world, first class. And they did.
Yeah, I remember her always bragging about flights and American Airlines and how she spent all this money on first class and basically bragging that she was paying for all these flights on her own. Pay for these tickets, or were you paying for them?
I mean, they came out of my paycheck. I mean, they weren't full fare.
Yeah,
but they were definitely something. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're paying for them, and she's getting them for free. I
paid for all her tickets.
Yeah.
And, she would fly all the time, and sometimes I would be at my ticket counter at American because I worked first class, and I would see her come in and go down the escalator to the baggage claim and say, dang, you know, my stepdaughter's in town, and I would like say to my colleagues, excuse me, I'm just gonna go see her. And I would run down behind her and say, oh, you're here? And she would say, oh yeah, I just came in to see my mom and my friends. I said, well, you know, it would be nice if you came and saw me sometimes, me and your father. We'd like to lay our eyes upon you too. And she says, you know, yeah, I will. But she never really did.
And what's crazy is like she's using your money to get these flights, and she can't even like stop by to even say hey to you.
She didn't even say hi.
Wow, I see her doing that.
She wouldn't even say hi. I had to run after her. And many things like that. And call her and ask her to come, and she would be too busy or say she was bored. Her friends were in Foster City. She didn't want to come. What have you, and you know, whatever. But you know, if it were a vacation that was interesting, you know, Maui, Hawaii, New York, she'd come.
Right, she wants to come when it like only benefits her. So you guys are separated now.
We're divorced. We're divorced. We went through 6 years of divorce, which he divorced me, which was so ironic. But he divorced me as soon as I established a 5-year restraining order against him. And once he realized he would not have any more access to me, nor could he come to my home and harass me or take things from our marital acquired home for himself, which he had done, a multitude of things, cars, leaving me carless for 3 years with no cars, coming in, taking furnishings, taking oil paintings, down to his home to reside with, you know, 20-year-old hookers younger than his daughter that he had met on Backpage.com. Crank-addicted hookers. I mean, these weren't high-quality call girls. These were like bottom of the bucket. Like they didn't even have their own home, cars, or anything. Most of them used their proceeds to get high. Her mother's white and Puerto Rican, and her father's black. So
okay, that makes more sense. So
there's no Brazilian.
There's no Brazilian. Okay, because
she's been to Brazil, but there's no Brazilian.
I guess so. When she went to Brazil, she started claiming that she was Brazilian now.
She's been to Brazil, you know, compliments of me. I invited her on a family holiday. That's how she went to Brazil. But she's not Brazilian.
She's not Brazilian.
And then when she was a little girl, I had my girlfriend give her you know, single braids, you know, like box braids, and then put like little, you know, little balls, colored balls on each one on the end. And like when she couldn't wait to get home and have her mother take it down. Like she couldn't go to school with that hairdo. She was really incensed by it. I mean, she put up with it because I wanted my girlfriend to do it. I thought it would be very cute on her. But, you know, she couldn't wait for her mother to take that hair down before she started school.
Why? Do you think she was embarrassed because her friends were white?
Because, you
know,
the girls at her school, they weren't wearing their hair like that. But today she does Journey's hair like this, so it's ironic. It's ironic. She didn't really relate to that. And I put all those little gifts for Father's Day up in a room, and I brought her up there, and I said, bring these down for your father, because she didn't bring anything or think of anything, and it's like, and she was like annoyed by it, but it's like I was trying to make it special. You know what I mean? Like I knew she wasn't going to bring anything, so I had the good sense. I wanted to do it so he could feel special. He didn't know it came from me, right?
Wow,
and,
she's always been selfish like that.
But she like annoyed, like I'll do it, I'll get to it. It's just like she wasn't really engaged.
Like it was such a bother for her to carry the presents for free that she got down the stairs for her father.
We normally always had, it didn't matter when Christmas fell, we'd always have Natalie Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We always broke up the holiday that she was shared, or if her mother worked, we'd have her for the entire holiday. And I typically cooked, and just because of my upbringing, I tend to make festive meals such as, baked macaroni and cheese, collard greens, just
soul food.
Different things that would be, I guess, considered, soul food type things. And when she would come in her younger years, she would say, why do I have to eat this black food? Oh, hell
no. Okay, so when Natalie got married, I know a bishop flew in to marry her. Like, how did that whole experience go?
Okay. Well, it was actually my bishop contracted him to go down to LA and marry her on the Bridezilla show. And, he went down there with his full bishop wedding attire, which probably consists of like 7 different robes in like 110 heat. He wasn't, compensated in any way. So for them to bring him down there and just, not even like take up a tithe or arrange for a payment for that, or take care of his accommodations or whatever else.
They basically just used him and left him.
Typically, yeah.
I mean, she's known to do that now. She's made a lot of makeup artists, hair people upset, and then if she doesn't pay them, she'll say things about them online and tell people not to go to them, so then they won't even want to ask for their money because of what comes with what her response will be. Does Natalie own her home, or is she buying her home?
Natalie rents her home. It's ironic because, she claims to make all this money up in the Sacramento area of California. And typically, people in the Bay Area, our view of people that live up there are people that can't cut it down here. Because it's pricey, in the Bay Area where I live. You're not going to get a cheap house here. It's very expensive. And most people will go up there because you can get homes to rent for very reasonable low cost. So that's probably was the attraction to bring her up that way.
Wow, that's crazy.
You can look apart, but not have to pay the piper.
Are there any recent incidents that you would say best explains her character?
Natalie's texting the daughter and threatening her. The girl's upset.
But he went to jail for domestic violence.
And so Natalie is, threatening the girl. The girl's very upset. She's just bore a baby a week ago. She's breastfeeding. She's a new mother, first-time mother, young girl. And I can see she's visibly shaken. And I just take the phone and start letting Natalie have it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going nowhere. You're not going to, if you're that bad, come move us. But we're not leaving this house. And why are you always on the side of evil? Why are you always choosing evil over good? She just kept threatening and what have you. And then she said something to me, you're just mad because you don't have any kids, because she knows that's a sore spot with me.
Wow. Low blows. She always does low blows.
The girl's other sister, by calling her, that she had just given someone 10 grand to come and put a hit on the house, and they were going to come down and shoot the whole house up with us in it, right? And
with the baby and everything.
with the baby and everything. With the brand new, but yet she had no regard for this brand new infant child. They were nervous. I said, look, she's not coming. She's not coming. If she had 10 grand, she would have bought a home. She would have bought a home. Right. So if she hasn't done that, she doesn't have 10 grand just laying around. And she don't even have a base like that. But, you know, I wish she didn't, you know, take your good name, Sarah, to the ringer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started admiring you online because I started watching you do things like you redid your stairs, which was amazing. And you redid your yard.
Yeah.
What kind of female takes on those type of labor-intensive projects and then prevail and have a really nice finished product? So I was in awe with you, and I knew you were just cut from a different cloth, and you engaged me. And it's like, she may know Natalie, but she doesn't have any of the qualities or characteristics of Natalie.
Side note, this is what I wanted at a funeral. I was looking like a bad bitch, right? That's what I wanted at a funeral. Basically, that just made her sound like trash. That made her sound like trash. That made her look like trash. Her stepmother read her down for filth. She was like, Natalie be using my airline points. She be trying to stunt, but she really is not none of that. She be trying to act like she hard, but she really not. She went to school with a bunch of white kids, a bunch of private white kids. Girl, she acting like she's stunting for the cameras. That's what she is. Her father was on drugs, and he's trash, and he was hooking up with hookers. Like, oh, snap. Like, I was like, oh, snap. And Sarah's just reading her like, And the lady name is like Sarah Nunn or something like that. Or something like that. Chelsea Nunn. Or something. She showed her Instagram and everything. And at the beginning of the interview, Sarah was like, do I have the consent? I was like, oh, Sarah, you a bad bitch. Like, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but this was hilarious to me, and it was giving. I was loving it. Because this is how you get at a bitch. You feel me? If you want to play, because Natalie is fake, and sometimes you got to crack the veneer on a hoe. Crack the veneer on a hoe. You know what I mean? So, I think she was giving. I think she was did it, but let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Let me know if y'all feel like she was bugging. I'm going to follow everything else Sarah is doing, because I just think Sarah, my idea is that on the last episode of Baddies ATL, Sarah was busting it wide open, and she was stripping. It's a whole nother stripper show. And Sarah was the only other one that supported any of the girls from Jocelyn's Cabaret. She needs to be on Jocelyn's Cabaret Season 3. And that's how you start on a bitch. She needs to be on there getting a nice check for coming on the show or having something to do with that show. And I think that's what she should do. But all I gotta say is she roasted this bitch, and that's why I got on All Black for this video. Y'all know I had to do it. That's why I got on All Black for this video, because she roasted this bitch down to the grizzle. Wow, and that shit is hilarious. Natalie acting like she don't care. This bitch releases a picture. I don't think I have the picture, but she releases a picture of the resurrection, of her resurrection like Jesus Christ. Like, I'm supposed to be dead. Wow. And Sarah's whole story, everybody is just like, everybody showed up for the funeral. Like, Sarah created a whole hashtag. Like, that was litty. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments, what y'all think. Did you attend the funeral? Because I said, do you think the funeral was too much? Leave that in the comments if you think. Do you think the funeral was just enough? Do you think Natalie got what she deserves? Do you think Natalie Poom Poom needs to be on the internet? But anyway, I love y'all. Like this video. Subscribe. Bye.
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch.